My second goal is to make a contribution to my family member and friend relationships. In other words, to be a good husband, father, son, brother, family member, friend. That is my second thing, and that is also included in my daily prayers each morning. After I say I'm willing to do anything to stay sober, I ask to be a good husband, a good father, a good family member, a good friend, a good teacher online, whatever roles I'm needed to play in my relationships with other human beings today. I pray to do a good job with those because relationships with human beings is a foundational reason we're all here. Most people, if completely isolated from other bodies, either have a spiritual awakening or go completely crazy. What stood out to me is how I've noticed, at least in my studies from listening to others, that Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad all had these times of isolation where then they received a spiritual way of living. Jesus went out in the desert, Muhammad went into a cave, and I don't remember exactly what Buddha did, if he just sat under a tree or something. These periods of isolation from other human beings can be helpful to heal our relationships, or we can go completely crazy in them. The point is that we are intended to be connected and of service to other human beings. We are intended to live our lives in large part through our relationships. As someone who had damaged a lot of their relationships throughout life, one of the key steps I've went through in my support group is intentionally looking at and repairing all of my relationships. When you do damage and neglect relationships in your life, it creates a lot of suffering for you. When you hold resentments and do things that hurt relationships, it makes life miserable for you. I'm grateful today to realize that relationships are one of my most important areas today. And especially the relationships where I have a lot invested, like being a family member or being a friend. These are relationships that take consistent effort each day. If I do not do anything to maintain them, they will disappear. And a lot of my happiness and joy comes from my part in relationships. And yet I am not simply a husband, a father, a family member, a friend, a teacher. Those are roles I'm playing. Those aren't who I am. And yet the roles I'm playing are an important part of the reason I am here, the reason I'm spending this life in this human body, why I'm here right now. A lot of quotes in life you'll see come down to how family members and friends are the reason for being. When you see war veterans, they often say about their buddies in the foxhole or their brothers in arms were the most important part of the war. You ultimately do this life to do it side by side with other human beings. So to me, this is a big extension of my first goal too, to not poison and mess up my relationships, rather to do my best to add good to my relationships each day. This then automatically handles problems. When I'm consistently adding good things to my marriage, then when bad things happen, I've added so many good things that we can almost get through the bad things on momentum. It's like finances. If you've saved so much money that then all of a sudden you get some big bills that you didn't expect or that came out of nowhere or don't seem fair, you can just make a withdrawal. When you're adding something good, it's just like with my spreadsheet. When I add a little bit of good to my marriage every day, an unbelievable amount of good exists there. When I add a little bit to my friends and family every day with a thought or a small action, or with some time spent playing video games, talking on the phone, watching a movie, when I add a little bit, I have very strong friendships, family members and relationships that sustain me, that then when I'm having a hard time struggling not to be in a place where I'm hurting myself and other people around me, then all of those relationships lift me up. When I'm struggling not to circle the drain, all those relationship hands are there to pull me up right away. And I am there to pull everyone else up. We all live together and work together and stay connected. I used to have a lot of turmoil with family members and friends consistently. Even friends who were really healthy sometimes would go into being unhealthy with me because I could get so unhealthy. So today I'm grateful my family members and friends are some of the strongest areas of my life today. And even if there's a hard time with one family member that's not caused by me, I have so much love and support that all of us get through it collectively with some measure of grace. So this is my second goal of each day. Another goal I try and ask for help with before I even get out of bed. I realize the quickest way for me to go insane and to fail at goal number 1 is to screw up goal number 2. Goal number 2 is critical to goal number 1. So what I've tried to do is organize these that way so that you get the most critical goals in order, and then each goal supports all of the total being accomplished.